Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the next reaction, Supernatural Season 6. The last episode that we watched was called The Man Who Would Be King, and we found out a lot in that episode about Castiel and his journey through his initial death in the end of Season 5, being brought back up to modern day, and fully what he's been up to in terms of the Civil War and his work with Crowley. So we learned that he got brought back to life by God. He then brought Sam back to life, obviously minus the soul, which was still trapped in hell till death got it back. But pretty much straight away, Raphael was trying to take power of heaven, and he didn't want that to happen. So he joined up with Crowley to get the souls from purgatory to try and win this war. And that led to, obviously, the various different events that we've seen throughout the season. It was a really tough episode to watch, purely because Castiel was struggling with the emotions of it all and dealing with his guilt, I guess, to a degree, and also lying to the boys about who he's working with, and just doing a lot of bad things, but for a good outcome. So there's that whole balance that I talked about at the end of the last episode, where he's doing a bad thing, but he's trying to do it to stop a worse thing happening. So what's right, what's wrong, and who do you agree with, and whose side do you kind of fall on? So that was an interesting thing to talk about, but we had some interesting and difficult moments with the boys realising that Castiel's working with Crowley, and then Castiel dropping himself in it and catching himself out, and then realising that he's lying to them and that he's eavesdropping on them and various different things. And it's led to the end of the episode where Castiel and Dean had a bit of an argument and have kind of split ways. Dean said, "Stop doing what you're doing." He said, "No," and also, "What you gonna do if I don't," essentially. And so it looks like, at least for now, they are not friends at the moment till we see what happens in the future. This episode is the penultimate episode of Season 6, and it's called Let It Bleed. I don't really know what that could mean. I just presume it's going to be more about Crowley, trying to stop Crowley, potentially. Although, stopping Crowley is a weird term, because I don't like what he's doing, and I don't want him to get more power, because he's a bad guy who does shady things, and also being the king of hell, he doesn't need more power. But I also want him to open purgatory so that we can stop this war and stop Raphael. So I presume this episode and the last episode is going to be some sort of maybe two-parter about that whole thing and the Civil War and trying to stop that. I don't know. Let's jump into it to find out. If you enjoyed the video, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And please take a look at the Patreon link down below to watch a full-length reaction to this episode and help support the channel. Let's jump into Supernatural Season 6, Episode 21. Let It Bleed. March 15, 1937. Providence, Rhode Island. What happened in the 30s? I bet he's writing something spooky though. You know, stormy weather, fireplace. The atmosphere is on point.
Hello?
This is my perfect kind of weather. Like thunder, lightning, storms. I love it. I just find it so relaxing. Whoa. But not when that happens.
Please. We didn't know. I'm sorry.
We didn't know what, sir? What's the dark like? Lovecraft? What?
Yeah, a fair lot of good it did. Why did he even come, right?
Because he
Samuel's
cares.
journals are pointless. I mean, I'm sorry, but Jebediah Campbell has squat to tell me
About how to stop Cass from cracking purgatory.
Well, actually,
Jebediah.
it's not about the journals we have, it's about the one we don't.
Oh, of course it is.
I mean, what?
Our pal Cass didn't stop in last night just to mend fences.
Oh, he stole something.
Stole something.
What?
That's not good.
The journal of one Moisha Campbell.
Well, so we gotta get it back, right?
There's something important in that.
Read the copy I had already made.
Uh,
Hi, glad to meet you. Bobby Singer, paranoid bastard. Phillips ain't his last name. It's Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft? Let me see that.
that was my reaction. Like, what the
Supposed to know who
hell?
that is.
Yes.
Horror writer.
Very
Mountains of
famous.
Madness. The Call of Cthulhu.
No, I was too busy having sex with women.
Oh, shut up.
Anyhow,
Lovecraft is
there's
a
one notion
genius.
that comes up over and over again in his stories, namely opening doors to other dimensions and letting scary crap through.
Yeah. Oh. Oh dear. Ben and Lisa are in this episode. Oh, No. Why? And it's written by Sarah Gamble. Shit. No, poor Lisa, Jesus. She got a new boyfriend and he just got killed. As soon as she showed up and Ben showed up, I was like, something bad is happening.
There's men in the house. What? They killed Matt. They got Mom. They're coming. I hear them.
What are they? Go to your window and jump.
What?
Any bones you break won't compare to what they're gonna do to you, Ben. You've got to jump.
I was like, Taken.
I'm coming right now. Coming to get you and your mom, I promise. You with me, Ben?
Oh, I don't like it.
Ben.
Hello, Dean. Fancy a chat?
Crowley, this is not cool. But I get why he's doing it.
How long has it been, Dean? Since my so-called demise, yes?
Crowley, let him go now, or I swear.
Right. You'll rip me a cornucopia of orifices. Let's get to the bit where I tell you how this goes. I've got your, what are they? Ex-lady friend and
Ex-lady
kid, and I'm keeping them until I'm satisfied that you've backed the hell off.
I'm telling you.
I mean, it's a good
Let
plan.
him go easy.
It's
You're
powerful.
yet all threatening. Don't worry, I won't hurt
But-
them. Provided you and Jolly Green stand down.
I hope they survive.
Splendid. Kisses.
You and Bobby stay on the Lovecraft thing, okay? Cass is already way ahead of us.
You gotta be nuts if you think I'm gonna let you do this alone. Bobby can take care of the case.
Yeah, guys. Bobby. This is a big ball, okay? We can't drop it now.
Fine.
I have a bad feeling Lisa's not making it out of this.
Lisa and Ben.
I'm sorry, boys. Do I look like a manservant? To you? I was drinking a 75 Dom out of a Sopranos navel when you called that was important.
Crowley's
Sounds like a
alive.
good time.
Handshake deal. Go halvesies on all the souls of purgatory. He fill you in on that?
No.
Yes, of course you do.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yes,
You're
of course.
lying.
We can read it all over your face.
They're innocent people, and I'm asking for your help.
I see.
What's he get out of it,
Fair
though?
enough.
But H.P. Lovecraft, this guy is literature. I mean, he should be taught in school.
There's so much
He's got
horror
ridiculous
nowadays that will trace back to
in our
Lovecraft.
codes. Seriously, they were getting together that night to perform a ritual. Something big.
Define big.
Not much, just open a door into another dimension.
Oh, yeah,
Why
yeah.
would they
yeah
do
the usual.
To see what's out there. You know, maybe it's friendly.
It's never friendly. I imagine. So, did it work?
I mean, he's right.
And they were... They
Castiel
were
took
right,
the-
they were right here.
Well, it's not like an invisible guy could just pop in and steal them, right?
Right.
Oh,
There's gonna be something really powerful in those letters.
And how's things going there? You got a lead on Lisa and Ben?
Well,
Well,
we're making a
Dean
few
sounds like he's
inquiries.
busy, that's for sure.
Lisa and Ben, wherever they are, there's 100% on me. And if they are hurt, I'll yell if I need you.
This is exactly why she wanted him to leave. Stuff like this. And I hate that she got a happy life and she had a new boyfriend and he got killed.
You took Ben and Lisa.
See, I told you. I just didn't think he would be involved in it.
I told you not to touch Sam and Dean. I've respected them. I'm merely exploiting the obvious loophole. Where are they, Crowley? You are not to harm them.
He's so
Do
silly.
you understand me? You know what? You're maxed out on putting humans out of bounds. I'll do with them as I please.
Are you in flagrante with the King of Hades?
Yes.
Of course not.
These
We're
angels.
such a terrible liar.
They're all bad liars, let's be honest.
So it's true.
Except for maybe Crowley.
All right then. Why?
It's a means to an end.
Suck up all those souls into yourself. All that power.
It's the only way.
Or too
Is that
much
how it
juice for you,
works?
in which case, you explode, taking a substantial chunk of the planet along with you.
That won't happen.
Sure.
That would be bad.
The spell
worked. A door opened and something came through. But it was invisible, so no one knew.
So what would they have brought
Except
through?
me. It took my mother. It went into her. She wasn't the same. She even smelled different.
Sorry
Poor guy.
about your mom.
You're the first person ever said that.
No, that's not.
You want to see a picture?
Yes, please.
I'll be damned.
Who is it?
I had no idea Crowley would take Lisa and Ben.
Yeah, right.
You don't believe me?
I don't believe a word is coming out of your mouth.
I thought you said that we were like family. Well, I think that too. Shouldn't trust run both ways?
Guess I just can't.
I always come when you call, and I am your friend. Still, despite your lack of faith in me and now your threats, I just saved you.
Oh,
Yet again.
Castiel.
Has anyone but your closest kin ever done more for you?
Oh, he's got a point.
All I ask is this one thing.
Trust your plan to pop purgatory?
I've earned that, Dean. Stand behind me. The one time I ask.
He's true, doesn't really ask a lot of the
Asking me
boys.
to stand down?
Dean,
That's the same damn ransom note that Crowley handed me. You know that, right? In fact, why don't you go back to Crowley and tell him that I said you can both kiss my ass.
Oh, he's angry, but he's not thinking straight. Which fine. Yeah, I get it.
Been a while.
Come in.
Do we know her? Oh, okay, so she's not who she
Exactly from Milwaukee.
says she is.
Not exactly.
And not that I'd have minded, but
Who is she then?
you kind of fibbed about your age, too.
Just slightly. 900 years.
Jesus.
You're from freaking purgatory. You never thought to mention that the whole time you slept with me?
I didn't ask those idiots to crack the door. I just happened to be the thing that fell through. And let me tell you something. You are lucky it was me.
You're saying you're on our side?
I'm on my side. I happen to like it here.
She just wants
I
to
don't
live
want
here.
to see this place turned into some bloody wasteland.
Help them then.
Why do you think I gave Dean the sword? To stop Eve.
Oh!
You guys were supposed to kill the damn dragons.
Look,
The one with the sword in the stone that he
this
blew
all
up.
comes down to one angel.
Oh,
He's
I never recognised her.
and he's looking for you. So I need to know how you open the door.
No. No, Bobby. It's too dangerous for anyone to know.
If I found you, he ain't far behind.
I know I'm going to live to regret this, but I'm officially on your team.
Hey!
You bastard. I asked Cass some questions, and I disliked his answers. He seems
Literally.
awfully sure of himself for a man who wants to swallow 1 million nuclear reactors. I mean, these things can get a bit Chernobyl, you know? Consider me your double agent.
That scares me, that plan, though.
Oh, and I took the liberty of searching for your friends. Crowley's angel-proof the whole bloody building. I guess he doesn't trust Cass. Seems that marriage is going swimmingly.
Okay, well, get us as close as you can.
What are these, like, Batman, 60s Batman sound effects in the back? Pow, boom, pew, pew. Tina's pissed, though. So... he's a force to be reckoned with. I don't like it. This is the time in the movie where someone gets killed.
Well, Brad's not going anywhere.
Wow, Jesus.
And neither am
She's
I.
possessed.
You know, she's awake in here. Your mom. I can hear her thinking.
Don't listen to her, Ben.
She plays a good demon,
I was just
though.
gonna tell him that you're his real daddy. Just kidding.
Oh.
Who knows who your real dad is, kid? Mom's a slut.
You shut your
Don't
mouth.
bring that argument up in the comments again. Just don't do it.
She never met you.
It's not your mom, Ben. She's lying.
Says a C- lay with 10 miles of daddy issues.
C-?
That'll get you through the night, Tiny Tim.
I doubt that is
Back
true.
off, cowboy.
Ben, look at me. Look at me. You're gonna be just fine.
Oh no. Is he gonna have to kill her or something?
What's the matter, Dean? Hit me!
Omnis congratio, et secta diabolica.
Oh, Ben, please put the knife down. This gives me a lot of fear. Ben's gonna do something stupid.
I'm warning you.
You go to hell, you black-eyed bitch.
You sure about that? Whoa! Exercise me now. She's just a dead meat suit.
Not necessarily.
Now, what was it you wanted to say?
Not necessarily.
Facias libertate. Severe.
You might still be able to save her.
Erogamus. Out he knows. Grab the assault gun. I gotta carry your mom out, so if anything comes at us, you shoot it.
But
go, now.
Lord.
Ben! Ben! Ben!
Right, move. Your mum's dying. Get a wiggle on.
Let's go.
Come on.
Sam! I'm in here.
Just leave him. She's dying. She's alive for now. She got there. I think she was going to die in the car or die as she got to hospital.
She'll be dead by midnight.
Sorry.
I don't care.
So she is dying. Can he save her?
It's too little, too late.
Can he do something? He's going to save her. Or he's going to steal the soul. I don't know what to do.
She's fine now.
Okay, good. Ooh.
Dean, I said I'm sorry, and I meant it.
I believe him.
I wish this changed anything.
I know. So do I.
There's one more thing you could do for me. Hi.
Who are you?
No. I don't like it.
I'm Dean. The guy who hit you.
It maybe wants to cry. I don't want to cry. Stop it.
And I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I'm real happy you two are both okay. I'm glad your life can get back to normal now.
I don't like it. This show.
We're okay. So that's what's important, right?
Anyway, I'll leave you two alone.
That was heartbreaking.
Dean, you know, you have pulled some shady crap before, but this has got to be the worst. Whitewashing their memories? Taken from somebody who knows.
You ever
protect them.
bend to me again, I will break your nose.
Goodbye. Ominous. It's because she just has to open the portal. Okay, that was my reaction to Supernatural Season 6, Episode 21, Let It Bleed. And that was hard to watch at points, emotional, really interesting, and a really good setup for the last episode, the finale of the season. So what should we talk about first? Let's talk about Crowley and Castiel and their fraught relationship already. Like, it's clear that they're not on the same page. They both want the same outcome, which is to find Purgatory, to use that power. Half goes to Castiel, half goes to Crowley. Castiel can stop the war. Crowley can do what he needs to do with that power. But it's clear they're just not on the same lines, especially when it comes to Sam and Dean. Castiel wants to do one thing, Crowley wants to do something else. So Crowley is very willing to go far. Like the fact that he kidnapped Lisa and Ben, which is a storyline we'll talk about separately, shows the levels that he's willing to go to. He knows how powerful that is to do to someone, is to kidnap someone close to them. And that is a very powerful pawn in your game. Also creates a very powerful enemy out of Dean, but it's also a very powerful pawn in terms of, I'm going to hurt your people you love if you do not stop. We see that in all sorts of media, when there's like a bad guy and they kidnap loved ones or friends or family or lovers of the protagonist to try and stop them as like a chess piece, and it usually works. But the point is, he was willing to go to that level and didn't tell Castiel, and when Castiel found out, he was pissed. So they both want the same outcome, but they're not playing the same game, if that makes sense. They want the same result from different games, and that's always going to create a difficult relationship because one wants to go as hard as possible, one isn't willing to go that hard, and for reasons that make sense, but it means that they're just never going to see eye to eye all the way. And obviously Castiel tried to help them a little bit, or Dean was like, I don't want your help. No, which, like, at this minute in time, Lisa and Ben are in danger. Take what help you can get. Pretty sure that's what happened. Anyway, a lot happened in this episode. So if I say things wrong, I apologise. But that's when they got Balthazar involved. They needed his help because they don't trust Castiel. They kind of thought that he was part of the plan, although I thought straight away that he wouldn't be, because Castiel's done some bad things, but it's very clear that he cares about Dean, and I just don't think that he would cross that line. And it turned out he didn't. It was all Crowley. But I figured, as I would hope that Dean would, that he wouldn't cross the line to, I'm going to kidnap the woman and the child that you love. That might be your kid, but I don't think it is. But that's a different argument for a different episode. But I never thought Castiel would cross that line, and he didn't. So that is good. So the Balthazar got involved, helped them find the Crowley, and they rescued Lisa and Ben. But that whole storyline was on in a minute. But another part of that Castiel storyline is the fact that they're trying to find a way to open the portal to Purgatory, and we saw that all stemmed back to H.P. Lovecraft. Now, it surprises me that Dean doesn't know Lovecraft. Like, I know he said, I was busy getting laid, but just because he deals with monsters and whatnot, I would have thought that at some point in his life he would have come across Lovecraft. Obviously, he hasn't, and Lovecraft is such a huge icon in the horror monster community. Like I say, one of my favourite games of all time is Bloodborne. For those who don't know, it's just a game that you set in like Victorian-esque sort of England's looking place. You're hunting monsters and werewolves and all these monsters, and then as you progress through the game, without spoiling it too much for people, more Lovecraft elements start to get involved, and it's very, very, very much based on Lovecraft lore and some of his kind of works. And there's a whole level that's about one of the fishing villages, which is in one of his books. And if you know, like Cthulhu and those kind of monsters, the big things with wings and the big tentacles, a lot of it traces back to Lovecraft and his designs of monsters, and they're still prevalent in this day. Like, I bought my boyfriend for last Christmas in one of the nerd stores in town, the geeky stores. There was all these plushies of Lovecraft monsters, but those are various different monsters, and Cthulhu was one of them, as some of them were Lovecraft. I don't know if they were all Lovecraft, but yeah, so he's such a huge icon. I'm surprised that Dean just doesn't know who he is. But they had a party one night in the 30s, tried to open a portal to another world, because that's very Lovecraft, themes. It worked. They all started getting killed off, but one person survived, and we turned out that whatever they came through from that portal possessed a woman, the maid, and she's still alive to this day. Now, when she came on screen, as soon as they showed the photograph, and he was like, I don't believe it. It was obviously going to be somebody that we knew. I just couldn't really think of who that would be, because all the people, like the monsters that we know, are dead. So who do we know that's a female and not dead? I don't know, because most of the females that we know are dead. So it's going to be somebody that we'd met, because it wouldn't make sense to have that reaction. But then when she came on screen, I was like, I know that face from somewhere. But it's been a couple of months maybe since I watched that episode where he had the sword in the stone, which was the episode about they needed this sword to kill something. I don't remember what the surrounding part of the episode was, but I remember she was in that big mansion, and she had all the artifacts, and there was the sword, the stone that Dean tried to get, and then he blew it up. So I actually remember really liking the character. I thought she was really fun then, and just quite sassy. So bringing her back into it is really interesting. I like that they brought another past character back. I think that is good to see. And her relationship with Bobby, but then turning out that she was a monster that's been alive for 900 plus years is really cool. But she seemed like one of these monsters that we very rarely meet, that wants to just to live and live a normal life. And I like this world. I like this planet. I don't want to see it die. And so they're trying to find her because she knows how to open a portal. She won't tell Bobby what that is, but ultimately, by the end of the episode, as we saw in the last scene, Castiel found her out. She left the cabin, which she was protected in. He appeared, put a hand on her, and he's taken her somewhere. So the last episode is going to be them trying to get her to tell them how to open the portal to Purgatory so they can open it and get the souls. Whether they do or not is to be seen as of yet, but I like that we also found out that when he gets those souls, his plan is to basically suck all the souls into him. Now, we never had any conversation before about how the whole souls things worked. I think I just assumed, say like a video game, there were going to be like a consumable power that you would use, not as bullets, but that sort of thing, where like, oh, I need 3 souls, send out a blaster, that's going to be a powerful blaster. I'm going to pick up 10 and I'll be even more powerful temporarily. You know, I didn't think it'd be like he's going to suck up 50,000 souls and that could make him go nuclear, could destroy parts of the planet, it could basically explode him. Obviously that all came from Balthazar. So I'm curious to see how that's all going to play out. I presume they're going to open the gate and he's going to suck up the souls. I don't know though. I really don't know what's going to happen with all that, because anything that I guess is probably going to be wrong. But the fact that the potential idea is that he gets all these souls and basically sends it to a nuclear bomb of sorts is interesting, scary, because that could be a really bad outcome at the end of the next episode. That could be the cliffhanger, because he bloody explodes and destroys part of the planet. I mean, that'd be a really dark way to end the season, but I wouldn't put it past Supernatural. They do a lot of time travel stuff. They could do like a whole, he goes nuclear, blows up, destroys the planet, or parts of the planet. They go back in time, stop it happening, potentially. I'm theorising way too much, but I like the idea that it's not just a case of, oh, here's the souls, let's use them, but there's a potentially negative outcome from that. And that means that when, or if they open the door to Purgatory, I don't know how they're going to play it, and that's cool. So let's talk about Lisa and Ben, because that was a huge emotional drive of the episode. The second that Ben came on screen, I got nervous, because like a lot of shows, including this show, like when they brought Ellen and Joe back, it was to kill them off. And especially when the last time we saw Ben and Lisa, couldn't tell you what episode it was, but I know it was like halfway through the season-ish, and it felt like they got a very good ending to the episode, to their storyline. Because if I remember correctly, Dean was driving away from their place, and there was like a montage of clips of them all together. And that to me was like oh, that's really sweet. It's like that storyline is done now. That's like a goodbye to the Lisa and Ben plotline. So, the fact that they got brought back made me scared that they were going to die. And I thought that, and I thought that, and I thought that all through the episode till the last few moments. So they got kidnapped. And just even worse for Lisa, like I just felt horrendous for her, because she'd got past this thing with Dean. Because she kept saying she was like saving herself for him. They said goodbyes. She'd moved on. She got this new boyfriend, this guy whose name I don't remember. And then he got his neck snapped in front of her. Because she's always going to be a target. I mean, even though her memories have been wiped now, she's still a target. Because she is still a pawn to use against Dean. Like, I could kill her. You know, she might not know who you are, but I can still kidnap her and kill her. So, wiping her memories is one thing, but she's still technically a target. But anyway, so I got very nervous and they got kidnapped because Crowley wanted to use them as a pawn. And like I said before, kidnapping her is very powerful, and she can be used as a pawn against him because, like I say, friends and family are always going to be a big, big move to make. But it also makes, like I said, a very big enemy out of Dean. It makes him very powerful and also very determined to stop you. Like, he could do some bad things because he's got that fire. We see that in things like Taken, like John Wick, and other movies like that. I think Peppermint was one of them. Is that Peppermint with Jennifer Garner? Those kind of movies where you kidnap someone they love or you kill someone they love. Yes, it's a very powerful move, but it also makes a very big enemy out of that person. It makes them burn with a rage and a fury that you've not seen before. And we saw at the end of the episode where Dean was annihilating those demons in that warehouse and taking them all out and not having any trouble with it. And he got through because he was so determined to get to them. So it's a risky move to make, kidnapping someone's friends and family or their loved ones, because, like I say, it's powerful in both aspects. A good pawn to play, but also makes them a huge enemy. And then he got to them, fought through the warehouse, rescued them. Straight away, a demon was inside Lisa, and I was like, oh no. Because they set it up like Ben was going to stab her. Ben got the knife, the demon knife thing. Lisa had her own, was fighting with Dean. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Like, this is... Ben's going to stab her to stop her from killing Dean. Not because he wants to kill her, obviously. But just like I don't know what to do. Stab her. And then he'll be traumatised. She'll be dead. Dean will be traumatised. And we're all going to be sad. And they were setting the pieces up for that. And luckily that never happened. Dean was doing the exorcism spell to obviously remove the demon from her body. It was working. They were fighting. It was still working. And then the demon grabbed the knife and was like, stabbed Lisa. And then tried to do well, you better keep me in the body now, because if you exorcise me, she's dead. I was like, well, not necessarily. Like, you did a one stab in the stomach. People survive a lot worse than that. So, I mean, if you're going to just definitely kill her, slit her throat, stab her in the heart, stab her multiple times, at least then you've got a better chance of her actually being dead. I mean, still not necessarily. Stab her in the neck. You know? The fact that he was, like, stabbed in the stomach and was like, she's dead now. No, not necessarily, no. Like, calm down, bitch. But, Dean did the right thing, exercised her anyway, and then they obviously had to fight their way out. And there was it was a good scene, it was a cool scene, but also, when you think about what was happening, a really sad scene when Dean was carrying Lisa's body out of the warehouse and got Ben to shoot demons. Like, he's kept Ben away from this life as much as he possibly can. So, giving Ben the gun and saying, you point, you shoot, here's how you hold the gun, shoot anything that comes, is hard to watch, because Ben was scared. We saw the first time he shot someone, he had obviously hesitated and was taken back by it. And then you have no choice but, like, your mum's dying, come on, get through this, let's do this. He got out of the warehouse, they were in the car, driving to the hospital. I was convinced Lisa was going to die at that point, but surprised me again, she didn't. They got to the hospital, she was on the ventilator and whatnot. And then they said, well, she's going to be dead by midnight. So I was like, so she is going to die. I was right from the start. I was wrong about how multiple times, but I was right that, oh, she's going to die now because they brought her back to kill her off. And they didn't. But they did something very heartbreaking, which is Dean, Castiel saved her life. They could have left it at that. But Dean chose to get Castiel to wipe Lisa and Ben's memories of him altogether. And I hate that. I hate it because it's sad. But I also don't know if I like it as a storyline, which I'll talk about as two separate things. It's sad because it's heartbreaking for Dean. You've had this whole relationship with someone, a long relationship. Like, they had that time when Sam was dead, when they were together, when they met back in the past. Obviously, he's been in and out of their life as well. Since then, they've had a lot of memories together, a lot of lives together. There's always the question of, is Ben mine? Is Ben not mine? We never had a definitive answer. I don't think he is, personally, but I know that's a big discussion in the comments. But he's had this whole relationship with the two of them that has now been wiped from their memories. They don't know who he is. We saw that at the end when he introduced himself as the guy in the car crash. I hope he was just going to wipe the memory of that event so that she could go back to... She's moved on from Dean. She can date someone new. It's all good. But obviously he wiped the memories of him altogether. And it's just sad. It's just really sad to see his heartbreak and his, you know, his loneliness, his sadness, his... I don't know, it's just a really hard plotline to watch. Like, I recently rewatched all the Harry Potter films, and there's a scene in the 7th one when Hermione, to try and protect her parents from a similar thing happened in this episode, wiped their memories of her. So they never knew they had a daughter. And that's a really awful thing to watch, that you're literally going to your parents and wiping all memories of you out altogether, like we saw when she did it. All the photographs of them all together, she disappeared from them all. And similar to this, that's just really heartbreaking, because in Doctor Who... Oh, I don't want to spoil Doctor Who for someone. But in Doctor Who, there's an ending to a character where, to save their life... Hello? The Doctor wipes all memories of their time together. And that's one of the most heartbreaking moments of the show. Now that had me in bits. absolutely in bits. Now, that's probably why I think I can hold myself back watching this, because I've said this storyline a few times before, where to save you, to protect you, I'm going to wipe the memory of you, of me from your mind. And that's why I don't always love it as a plotline, because it's hard to have all this life together and they don't know it. But it is powerful, and it is emotional, and it's devastating. So I like it for that. But I'm just like, hello? Like, I want Lisa and Ben to know who Dean is, to know how great he is, to love him, they end up together. That's my ultimate goal for this show, is I wanted them to all to end up together. Now they don't know who he is, and that breaks my heart, because Dean's got this happy life and this memory in his head of them, and that doesn't detract from that. They still had those times together. But he has to live with the knowledge that they have no memory of it. They don't know who Dean is. And whilst I said before, it doesn't stop them being a target, because a demon could still kidnap them to use against Dean. They just don't know who he is, and they would not know why they're being kidnapped. But it's just really sad. I hate it. I hate it because I want them to remember Dean. And I was kind of, the back of my mind, whilst I know that this show is probably not going to have a happy ending for many of the characters, there was always a part of me that was like, they could end up together. Maybe when the show finishes, maybe that could be how it ends. Now I know from the little bits that I've heard, and don't spoil it, that people aren't happy with the show's ending, particularly. So we'll wait for another 10 seasons or so till we get to that point to discuss that, but there was always a little part of me that was hoping maybe they could play a part in that. But ultimately, they now no longer know who Dean is, which is heartbreaking and devastating. And but as for the finale, we've got the woman's been captured. She knows how to open the portal to Purgatory. Castiel's got they could torture her in that room to get the information from her, to then get the souls to win the war. But then I presume that the season's going to end on a cliffhanger leading into season 7. We'll have to wait and see. But there's a lot of things that are still open for the season finale, which is exciting. And I'm excited to see where they take it. As always, my name is Scott. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. Let me know down below what you thought of the episode, the reaction, and your thoughts on Lisa and Ben in particular. Like, were you as devastated as I am about how their storyline, at least for now, I presume for the future, has ended? That they're going to live their happy life together with no memory of Dean or Sam or monsters and all that. Yeah, don't like it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave some comments down below. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below. And I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of Supernatural Season 6, the finale of the season. Bye guys, take care and stay safe.